If you guys ever figure it out, here's my card.
You don't have the votes to block this. Not even to push the nomination to a second ballot.
That's more than enough to split the ticket.
And deny us the White House another 4 years? No, not even you. Not even you, Senator.
What have you ever done?
Let me help you. We can talk about it.
No talking! No therapy! You don't know what I know, so you can't see it. He just keeps talking! I never said it didn't work.
Hey, Ray! Now I can get used to this. Lead it.
Yo, DJ! Hit me!
You don't need anybody's permission to be great. You don't need anybody's permission to inspire somebody.
He starred in the original Broadway production of Dreamgirls.
You must remember this.
Yes, the Dreamgirls. Played opposite Denzel Washington in Philadelphia.
Baked Alaska, that might be considered a delightful meal.
We object. These gastronomical comments are irrelevant to these proceedings, Your Honor.
And let's not forget his Emmy-nominated performance in Miss Evers' Boys.
How come I can't get a shot like Caleb got a shot? I come.
Never mind, Willie. Come on, we just go somewhere else.
We're talking about the man with that iconic face, legendary voice, and unforgettable name. The multifaceted American actor, singer, dancer, director, writer, and producer, Obba Babatunde. You've seen him everywhere. I mean, movies, TV, Broadway, you name it. So sit tight and let's dive into the fabulous life of the man who has done it all. From his rise to stardom to challenges of Black actors and how he stayed grounded over the years in Hollywood. He was actually born Donald Cohen on December 1st, 1951 in Queens, New York. Growing up in such a culturally rich environment totally shaped his artistic journey.
Mother and father.
Yeah.
Raised in a two-parent household. Wonderful. My mother, as in many of our males that I've spoken to over the years, had really this great influence on me. You know, my mother was a tough lady. My father transitioned when I was 15 years old, and at that day, I became a man-child. I was the last person to talk to my dad. You know, a very hardworking man and a man's man, if you will, said, you are the man of the house now. I believed with the wherewithal of a 15-year-old that meant that I had to take care of everybody, and that translated itself into my life. And ultimately, I was finding myself being responsible in my adult life for everybody in my surroundings. I'm responsible to share information, to treat you in a particular way, not for how you deal with that. And so that was one of the things that I had to learn, and it helped me in my own growth and development.
Back in his Jamaica high school days, he was already making moves, getting involved in all kinds of extracurriculars, especially theater.
And this is my moment, my once in a lifetime.
But here's where it gets interesting. His passion for the arts led him to take on the name Obba Babatunde to embrace his Nigerian roots. And let me tell you, in the Yoruba, Obba means king, and Babatunde means father has returned again.
Babatunde, it's loosely translated to mean the spirit of the grandfather has returned in the child. What's even more interesting about that is my oldest son made the 5th generation of all of the firstborn males in my family, the last 5 generations, born same day, same month.
Talk about a name with some serious power. Starting back in 1976, he was already lighting up the stage. But he really hit the big time when he played C.C. White in the original Broadway cast of Dreamgirls.
You must remember this.
That role earned him a Tony Award nomination. Total Broadway royalty moment. And who could forget his role in introducing Dorothy Dandridge?
I'm Harold Nicholas of the Nicholas Brothers. And maybe that's all I'm supposed to be. I'll send you money from Paris.
He snagged a NAACP Image Award nomination for that one, of course. Over 60 made-for-TV movies and a ton of theater roles. The man is everywhere. Oh, and if you've been binge-watching your old favorites, you'll definitely remember him from The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air.
And he gets one every year. A cheapskate, he won't even buy a pool.
In Chicago Hope. He even portrayed Berry Gordy, the founder of Motown Records, in the miniseries The Temptations.
So, you guys come up with a name for yourselves yet?
The Temptations.
I mean, could he be more iconic? And oh, the talent just doesn't stop with Obba Babatunde. Not only has he been slaying it on screen, but he's also lent that golden voice of his to animated characters in the Wild Thornberrys movie.
Do you want some?
Natundio.
And even video games in the Star Wars franchise. I mean, talk about range. And you know what? He's not just an actor. Babatunde has serious musical chops too. He recorded several albums and performed in operas. Can you believe it? This man can do it all. Total triple threat, if you ask me. Obba Babatunde is also known to be a fashionista, both on and off screen.
Have you always been a stylish actor?
I certainly have. You know, I think that one's presentation of oneself represents and suggests to the world who you might be, having them have the opportunity, even before they get a chance to have a conversation with you,
right,
by how they might identify you by the way your appearance.
And the word on the street is, Obba's the kind of guy who can outdance pretty much anyone in Hollywood. Don't believe me? And honey, all of that in a suit and tie. Obba Babatunde expresses excitement about being part of the Emmy family.
I'm so excited to be a part of the entire Emmy family, you know.
He's all excited about his work in both daytime and primetime shows. Like, is there anything he can't do? And of course, he's out here championing diversity, saying how important it is to show different perspectives in storytelling. He's all about pushing for the quality, authenticity, true representation, and inclusivity in the entertainment industry.
Making sure that we can remember that we are all one family and that we should get an opportunity to express that through the diverse work that we do. We have to remember that everybody doesn't see everything the same way. So change is relative, whether there's like everything else. There is no one-sided coin. There is always two sides to every story. So we must be able to make sure that we're showing the quality, and the diversity has to do just that. Exemplify the diversity. Not just one person's opinion, but the opinions of many.
You just know he's making waves and keeping everyone talking. Oh, you know there have been some moments when Obba Babatunde stirred things up. He's never been shy about calling out Hollywood's lack of diversity, and his comments on the struggles Black actors face in getting decent roles have definitely caused some waves.
I've been blessed to be in these projects. You mentioned Philadelphia. And this also speaks to the power, the potential power of the industry. The movie Philadelphia pointed up that we should deal with AIDS patients and victims relative to their humanity rather than defining them by their illness. Miss Evers Boys, with a host of great people. Through that project, I'm so proud of that. Through that work, the President of the United States at that time, who was Bill Clinton, saw the movie and felt it necessary to come out and offer a formal apology from the country for this egregious wrong that had been done to these families. Offered them an apology to the survivors as well as reparation. People have come to me and say, hey, yo, bro, I'm gonna tell you honestly, Joe, I hear everything you're saying, but yo, bro, I'm just trying to get paid. To which I say there was full employment during slavery. There was full employment during slavery. Is it just about the fact that we're being seen? A golden age. That's an interesting terminology. What does that ultimately mean? Because it sort of seems that then that time will pass. We have been here since the beginning of time. We were not hatched during the civil rights movement or during slavery. And so, yes, we are seeing more of us. But how are those images? A standard of excellence, I think, is something that everybody should always strive for. Someone says, well, what does that mean? That you only play certain kind of characters? No. But what is the intent of the story that's being told? Because the images that we present go out around the world suggesting to someone who we may or may not be.
People have talked. His public statements about Black representation in media have even ruffled a few feathers, with some saying he's focusing too much on the bigger picture and not enough on individual achievements.
I have been given the gift to be able to do what it is that I love. Every day that I wake up, and I tell people this all the time, identify. First of all, no one can take from you what they did not give to you. And I think that's a life lesson. And also that every day, I went to an audition one time years ago, and the guy was like, "Oh, but you always seem like you're in a great mood." I said, "Man, I get an opportunity to do what I love to do today. It's not about the result." See, if you throw the ball against the wall, the ball is coming back. Never worry about when it's coming back. Just know that it's coming back and give it everything that you've got so that when it comes back with everything that you've put into it. It's the pebble thrown into a still body of water. What happens is it makes a ripple, but it goes in every direction. And even if it came upon an obstacle, it will go along that obstacle until it comes to the opening. So everything that you give always will come to shore.
But you've got to admire his passion. His advocacy has definitely sparked some major debates within the industry.
We're talking about real life, much bigger than just cardboard characters. We have a great capability. Now, I use the word industry. Let me just elaborate for a brief second on that. Sure. The entertainment industry. Any word that has the word industry at the end of it is designed predominantly to do one thing: produce a product for a profit. Do you hold the car industry to a superior moral ethic? Or are you just concerned about the fact of whether or not Ford or Chevy or Mercedes makes a good vehicle? What about the food and drug industry? Do you hold them to a superior moral ethic if they're feeding you something which is not going to nourish your body? Do you hold them to a superior moral ethic? No, you don't. So I'm not sure why it is you want to put that burden on the entertainment industry. Earlier I said your do is not necessarily your who. When I finish, take this wardrobe off, I'm Obba Babatunde, the man. My who is how I affect change in someone else's life. The bus driver, when they get off the bus, is she or he now just a bus driver? See, but when we see ourselves as a larger part of the picture of humanity, then I think that we avoid ourselves from segregating ourselves from ourselves or from our humanity.
Okay, get this. Obba Babatunde constantly gets mistaken for Berry Gordy, and he finds it totally hilarious. But honestly, Obba's not mad about it at all. He says he's honored to be linked to such an iconic and pioneer in the music world.
People come up to me and say, "Listen, Mr. Gordy, I'll give you a perfect example. I was in Toronto and I was walking down the street and a guy walks by and he says, 'Oh my God, it's Berry Gordy.'" I said, no, brother, I played him in the movie. It's a great honor because Mr. Gordy is someone who is a pioneer, an icon, and one who has set forth a record. So if I am representing him well, then I've done something good.
I mean, who wouldn't be flattered to be compared to the guy who basically created Motown? Not only is he a powerhouse in acting, he's also super dedicated to education. Word is, he co-founded one of New York City's very first art-based schools. How amazing is that? And get this, he's fluent in American Sign Language too. I mean, are you impressed yet? But that's not all. Turns out, Babatunde is a total cowboy. He competes in rodeo events and is known for his impressive skills as a rider and horse trainer.
Now, when you get one of these buckles, okay, and you get your name on it, as my name is on that, it's not just a fashion statement, it's a trophy. I am also involved in the rodeo, and the Bill Pickett Rodeo, which is an all-black rodeo, and it will be coming to your city somewhere near you. But, so come and hang out with us. My profession is in the entertainment industry, a half a century this year, okay?
Congratulations.
And I didn't start as a kid. Horses are my passion, because they're pure-spirited creatures, and that's the thing that I love.
No wonder he's raking up accolades like the Daytime Emmy for Outstanding Guest Performer. And wait for it, he's even been inducted into the National Multicultural Western Heritage Museum. What a legend! Obba Babatunde is such a legend, his journey through the entertainment industry, oh my gosh! Total proof of how talented and versatile he is.
Kudos to the writers, who are really stepping up this season. They've said, listen, based on what's going on in our country, there's no way we can do this show and not address it. And they have. Specifically to your question about as an actor, Sean Ryan asked me, Obba, some of my own experiences having lived through all the generational periods that we're talking about. I told them about some of the personal experiences of my life. They found it moving enough to said, listen, you know what? We'd like to incorporate that if you would be kind enough to allow us. And I said, please, gentlemen, do that. So
the work that I've been having a chance to do on the show has been very emotional. It's been very emotional because it's really born of true and actual experiences that I've experienced, Obba has experienced in his life growing up in America. I was truly honored. It was, I don't want to give the misconception that they formulated this because of me and my story, but that they were willing to listen and have a regard for the fact that, well, listen, we've got a guy right here that has actually lived through the generational aspects of the 60s, the 70s, the 80s, the 90s, and now the 2000s. And so why wouldn't we not, be willing to talk to him and get his perspective and then fashion around that and other aspects that they've already got in place. But I think they're looking for truth. They're looking for a real sense of a positive representation. And so here I am, a guy who's lived that life. And so I'm really honored and I'm humbled by the fact that they would be so generous and that I'm able to tell the story, not just from a fictional standpoint, but from an actual standpoint.
Seriously, he can do it all. And the best part, he's still out here inspiring new generations of artists with his never-ending commitment to excellence and love of storytelling.
And I always say this in my acceptance speeches, as thrilled as I am to receive the award, I am more interested in the reward. And the reward is hopefully that somebody will be a repository of the work that I've done and be able to be inspired by what I've done. I have a saying that says your do is not necessarily your who. Your do is how you affect change in your life. Your who is how you affect change in someone else's life. And there was a woman named Alma Smith who most people would never know who she was. She happened to be my best friend's mom. And one day I was having a difficult day in grade school. And for whatever reason, my head was hanging down. And I remember this like it was yesterday. And Mrs. Smith took my chin in her hand and she lifted it up and she looked into my eyes and she said, "It's going to be okay. You're special." And for whatever reason, I heard her and I believed her. And I sit before you today as that man who was that child that someone took the time to tell me that I could be. And therefore, we all have the ability to be a Mrs. Smith in someone's life. You don't need anybody's permission to be great. You don't need anybody's permission to inspire somebody.
You just know everyone in Hollywood is in awe of him. And get this, he's even the grandfather of NFL star running back Tariq Cohen. Obba Babatunde is a man of many talents and has no signs of slowing down. Continuation of the TV series SWAT.
Do not screw this up.
You can count.
SWAT is a great show, you know what I mean? And I play Shamar Moore's dad on that. And that is really, really
Love
turning.
Shamar Moore.
Yeah, who doesn't? Definitely,
yeah.
Carlos. It's a project. But what's wonderful about this is that SWAT is about, guys going in.
Yeah.
But because they've added me as his dad, there's an element of family. And the dad is ailing. What's interesting about it is that the father was a member of the Panther Party. So here you have now a former member of the Panther Party, and his son grows up to be the head of of the law enforcement of the SWAT.
Crazy.
So it's a really interesting dynamic.
From his unforgettable performances in Broadway to being that familiar face on your favorite TV shows, he's literally done it all. Rumor has it, he's not just a powerhouse on screen, but a major perfectionist behind the scenes, too. Some say he's one of Hollywood's best-kept secrets, quietly shaping the industry for decades. But will he ever get the full recognition he deserves? Well, knowing Obba, he's not chasing after the spotlight. It just happens to follow him everywhere. Keep your eyes peeled because trust me, he's not done dazzling us just yet. Behind the scenes, Obba is known for being a total pro. But did you hear that he's also the ultimate mentor to young actors? Yeah, helping them hone their craft. How cute is that? He truly is Hollywood's ultimate secret weapon.
I often tell people when they say, well, what advice would you give if you were giving advice to an actor or somebody wanting to be in the industry? And I said, remember that they cannot take from you what they did not give to you. Your gifts, your talents, those are given to you. I believe they were given to you by God. But no one can make you talented. They can't make you have a great singing voice.
Right.
They can't make you a great actor. The industry can put you in a position by which you're given the opportunity to express those gifts and talents.
Exactly.
But your gifts and talents, I believe, are given to you.
The 72-year-old Nigerian-American actor has a net worth of around $14 million. Obba Babatunde has been happily married to the multi-talented actress and director Deborah Sharp Babatunde since way back in 1998. And it doesn't stop there. They're quite the power couple in Hollywood, working together on several projects over the years. But wait, there's more. They have 2 children together. Their son, Ajumike Babatunde, has followed in his dad's footsteps, and he's making his own mark as an actor. And their daughter, Anissa Babatunde, she's a writer and artist, carving out her own creative space. With all this star power in one family, it's clear the Babatundes are a true entertainment dynasty. Keep an eye on this bunch. They're bound to be lighting up our screens and stages for years to come.